What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be discussing Port Adelaide's 75-point win against the Crows in Showdown 48 in what was a historic night in front of 2,240 people in what is going to go down as one of the most unique experiences of my life. And I can't wait to talk about this showdown because it was a big performance by Port, and well, let's just get straight into it because it was a great night.
It's a well-weighted kick. Todd Marshall, who Lingy mentioned before, super talent. That's a beautifully weighted kick. Butters out the back, got rid of Atkins, out of midair. Oh, Butters loves it. Great goal.
75 points in a game of football after 10 weeks of not playing any games at all. Port Adelaide got the job done against the Crows in a very one-sided contest, wearing the prison bar Guernsey, which I must say, every time you look at it, it's just one of the best looking Guernseys. Actually, you know, it's not one of, it is the best looking Guernsey in Australian football. It's one of the most proudest Guernseys that you can see in a game. And look, it's got so much history, so much heritage behind it. Wearing it last night against our arch rivals and smashing them to bits can very much sum up what is a very magical Guernsey, because every time we put that Guernsey on, we seem to just hit a gear that's higher than anything else we would have in any other Guernsey. And last night, to beat the Crows, who, mind you, are quite possibly they're like the 2011 Port Adelaide team. They're awful. Watching them last night, and that's nothing to do with me being a Port Adelaide fan and just saying they're awful, they're the Crows. It's more what I watched last night from them is a very I think a lot of the fans for the Crows will be very disappointed, and quite clearly. I think even though they're a very young team and have a lot of very inexperienced players, your leaders have still got to stand up, and you didn't see anything from Tex. He was colder than the weather last night. He just nowhere to be seen. Sloan got injured. Tarley did a great job against Dixon early on, but faded out as Dixon got into the game more. And I think overall, just their performance was subpar to even the level they were expecting. I don't think. I think majority of fans would admit Port Adelaide were always going to be eventual winners because they've just got that. Just got that little bit more of an edge at the moment, and they've got a drive, they've got a mission, and they're sticking to it. And I think that's one of the great things about Port Adelaide at the moment is you can see what they're aiming for, you can see what they're going after, and they're sticking to the plans. And that's something that's been a little bit on and off of late, but now you can see it, and they're driving this team very well. The likes of Rosie, the likes of Butters, Dersma, these are 3 draft picks we picked up at the beginning of last year, and they've stormed onto the scene as 3 remarkable footballers, and now they've just taken it to another level. Zach Butters in the middle, just exceptional, especially early on. He was just driving that pressure up forward. He was kicking goals, and I think that soccer goal is just one of the best things you'll see in a pandemic. But him linked with Rosie in the middle, who looks so comfortable in there. He's just moving freely. He's obviously very fit, and his skill use and his ability to hit the scoreboard as well is something that definitely as a midfielder you need to do more often than not, and he did it. He do it. He was exceptional. And Dersma, 3 goals last night. His link-up play is something that we've lacked even when we did play a pretty good brand of footy. We always lacked that link-up footballer who was able to run and hit the scoreboard as often as he did, and he did it really well. And I think with those 3 in tangent, moving around, they're very flexible and very versatile with where they can play. It's just going to be a matter of time before they even take it up to another level, and they're just the future of this club at the moment. You mix them with the likes of Boak, who was the Showdown medalist and very questionable. I don't think there wasn't a standout performer to win the Showdown medal. I think the likes of Butters was in there. I put him up for a conversation. I think Rosie would be another one that would be one that was in contention, and obviously Stevie Motlop was, he was just awesome, and the mark he took.
The age demographic, so they will be very keen to reduce his margin. Motlop! That was beautifully timed. Still a few tricks in the trick bag there, Lingy.
The fans are loving it. Have another look. Beautifully timed jump.
Last night, I think I probably overreacted a little. I called it, give him the car. Now, it was a good mark. But looking back, it probably wasn't as great as I thought. But nonetheless, you take those, and it's something that we haven't seen a lot of. Is some big pack marks, and when you see a specky like that, it's just really good to enjoy. But just back onto Boak for a second. 24 touches, 67% efficiency on a night that was a bit. The skill level was pretty good. But I think with the wet ball early on, it was pretty hard to get a grip on the footy as much as we did in the second half, and our skill work in the second half. And Boak's spread from the contest is what created that that ball movement that was so free, and that's how we impacted the scoreboard. Our pressure around the contest inside 50 was enormous compared to the Crows. I think we took something like 80 marks on the night compared to theirs 34. So our uncontested possession was just as good as our contested ball work, and it was driven from that midfield group who just continually hunted the ball, and it was linked perfectly with our defenders. The likes of Darcy Byrne-Jones, Tom Jonas and Tom Cleary on their lockdown roles on the two big forwards of Tex and Fogarty. And then you had Mackenzie, who was able to not only be a great one-on-one defender, but he also was the one that drove the ball forward more often than not with his booming kick. And that was how we were able to move the ball so well from defence, linking with Darcy Byrne-Jones. Just want to focus on Motlop for a second. He was enormous last night. I think the way he was able to impact the contest contestedly and also uncontestedly was something that I think he hasn't been able to get the balance right previously. But I think his first pre-season, and then this second one, and then obviously Marsh series in the round one game, he's able to, he's just, I don't know, he's changed a mindset, and I think it's really working for him. He's moving a lot freely. It's the type of Motlop you want every week, and if he's kicking goals and taking marks and hitting up players inside 50, his score involvements were awesome, and I think, if he's doing that, then we're gonna have another asset on our team that we will have every single week that we need from Motlop. That's something you want. That's something you need. And if he's producing that, then our worries become a lot less. I think the biggest thing of last night, and I touched on it just earlier with the crowd being allowed into the game, 2,240 people. It was loud. I'm telling you now, that is the loudest 2,240 crowd I've heard. I'm actually struggling to talk. I haven't got a voice. I was screaming that loudly, and it was a privilege and an honour to be there, and I'm so proud of the team and their performance, but I think I'm just as proud as well with the fans. Enormous to the lucky people to actually attend the game, and I know a lot of people are disappointed they couldn't attend, and I feel bad for that, because when you attend something that's such unique and so different to what it is, and under the circumstances it's always going to be limited, I think you just treasure the moment a little bit more. And I soaked it all in, the likes of not giving in, starting to play, the 2,000 people that were chanting and clapping along to not giving in, and then the song when it came on when the boys ran out, never tear us apart, sitting 3 seats apart, and yet we're still together. I think a big pat on the back, and you can truly say that, our supporters are the best in the league, the most passionate, and for them to be so loud and really enjoy what was a fantastic evening sums it up really well. And it just brings a smile on my face. Overall, I think it was just a very solid team performance, and I think it's the perfect way to kickstart. We're top of the ladder now, 2-0, going into the hub, and I think I think we're well placed now. I was a little bit jittery going into this week. I thought, maybe which Port Adelaide's going to turn up. I have full confidence now that we're going to have a brand of football that will turn up every single week, and win or lose, it will just be dependent on how we play overall with the plans that we're going to stick to. But Ken Hinkley's got these. I love his attitude at the moment. I think Ken's got his men really set on a position they want to be at, and look, you can see it on field, and they're very happy. You can tell the players they're really close, and they're enjoying their football. I think they're one of the few that are actually realising that we're actually happy that football's back, and you've got to cherish every single moment you've got. it was a I'm just glad to see that, and I think for a lot of fans as well, and a lot of players, it would be an emotional time. We've got football back in these circumstances that we've never witnessed before, and to produce a performance like that, it's the best showdown you'll see in a pandemic. Well, that wraps up this review of Showdown 48. Let me know in the comments below what you were thinking of last night's game against the Crows, the performances. If you're a Crows fan, let me know. The Port fans, get involved. Let's have a chat because it was an epic night. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content coming your way during the 2020 season. My name is Anthony, and as always, ThePear.